publishing a public performance management dashboard was one of the early goals of the new administration. The idea behind this is creating accountability with, our residents will help improve performance across the city in the end. So a quick way for us to get this up and running was to leverage the data portal platform that we were using. So we are feeding, and in some cases, automated feeds from systems, again, data that represents how departments are doing. How long does it take to complete that pothole request? How many days does it take to get a license or a permit in the city? So reducing the time in line is very important to the administration, to the mayor. And so this is a first step at measuring where we are and showing residents exactly how we're doing. The data portal allowed us to upload tabular data sets and then create chart views, which we embedded in our existing website. So we're up and running very quickly, and we're able to provide some visual context via these charts. For example, I think that you're bringing up maybe pothole repair. So you'll see,
yes.
You can see over time how the city has been doing, how many days it takes to complete a pothole request. So we launched the performance management dashboard several months ago now, and since then some of our departments have begun instituting process improvements that have begun to shave time off of these things. So you'll start to see changes in the amount of time it takes to complete work. For something like pothole repair, there is seasonality, and the dashboard does allow us to also provide some context to these performance metrics. It's important to understand that in a climate like Chicago, normally we have harsh winters, and not this year, but normally we have harsh winters, and often that means spring, when everything thaws, you start to see a lot of potholes. So you normally see some seasonalities to some of these performance metrics, but the dashboard, being able to embed these charts on the page, allows us to provide that context. And then again, it also allows residents to track, as we're making these process improvements, is it in fact making a difference in how the departments are performing?
It's also, one of the things that was interesting about this project is we did have a 100-day goal to create this site. What we did here was not necessarily an intuitive use of the Socrata platform, but I very much come from the philosophy that every time you need to do a project in government, you don't have to buy something new. In the famous words of Alton Brown, he talks about, having too many unitaskers. We need to stop doing that. You can't get everything into a single system, but instead, we need to figure out how we can maximize those. So we were able to deliver on the mayor's objective by using this in what was not an intuitive way, but actually proved to be very successful. The data is now public. We're delivering on that, and we're seeing improvement in performance. So I've been really happy with it.